Hi there, this is week 6 about file input and output, and today I'm going to discuss the last problem from this problem set 6, that is CS50P shirt, not t-shirt, in fact P shirt, P for Python here. The problem statement is that there are three Muppets given at the bottom, you can see here, and we have to overlay this. I took CS50 t-shirt over them, and finally they should be looking like this from this, and in between there are certain validations that we need to perform. If you come over here in a file called shard.py, implement a program that expects two command line arguments, so we have to do with the command line arguments. sys.argv is the name of the path of the jpeg or png file to read, that is our input file. Similarly, sys.argv2 is the name of the jpeg or png file to write, that is the output file. So out of the two command line arguments, first one should be our input and second one should be our output. You can download the shard.png using this hyperlink, and similarly you can download all these Muppets which is given over here using this particular hyperlink. Moving further, the other validations are here. If the user does not specify exactly two command line arguments, the program should exit using sys.exit. If the user's input and output names do not end with jpeg or .jpg or .png, program should exit via using sys.exit. If the input name does not have the same extension as the output name, again the program should exit. And if the specified input does not exist, then again we need to exit. And frankly speaking, I found this problem a little tricky because we have been asked to use the pillow library, which is not that okay. Frank addition I am not too good at, so I relied heavily upon the hints that are given over here while solving this problem. And again here I am also going to borrow from the hints given very heavily. With this background, let us jump into here code spaces. Here this is, I am already into the shared directory, and if I go over here, you can see I have already downloaded the three Muppets here. It will take a moment to come up there. Here you can see Muppet 3, 2 is still, yeah, 2, and here it is 1. So with this background, let us start coding. I am going to start with importing the required libraries. Import sys and os. Why os? I will be explaining it in a minute. Bear with me, please. Then I am going to download pil. From pil, import image, and then there is one more called image ops. If you do not have this pillow installed then in your system, then you need to copy this line of code from here and you can go run it here. In my system I believe it is already installed, but still I am running it. Okay, so now it is installed. Now what I am going to do is that very first thing that I am going to check for the command line length of the command line argument, as I have done in my previous videos. So if length of sys.argv is equal to 3, then I am going to write pass. If length of sys.argv is less than 3, then we need to exit using sys.exit, and our message should be too few command line arguments, as you can see it here in the demo video. Too few command line arguments. Copy this, paste it here. Else, if the length of the command line arguments is more than 3, then again we need to exit, saying too many command line arguments here. Copy this and paste it here. One thing that I noticed here, I have missed writing V for victory. Now why I am writing length of the command line argument is 3, then I am going to proceed further. Why? Whereas the problem says it should be 2. Here you see, if the user does not specify exactly 2 command line arguments, So if I come over here and write python shirt.py, and let's say I am writing foo. So python is the name of the interpreter, shirt.py is at index 0, foo is at index 1, and bar is at index 2 now. But shirt.py is the very first command line argument which is required, which is the name of the program, and it is very much required in order to run the program. So CS50 is not considering it as a command line argument, instead it is considering this as first and 2. But still, so just what we need to remember is that this is at index 0, this is at 1, and this is at 2, and thus the total length of the command line argument including the program name is 3. So let us start checking it. I am just going to check for the command length of the command line argument as it is given in the demo video. So I am just going to write the name of the program here. Too few command line arguments. So far so good. Foo bar, okay. It is not prompting me anything because I have not done any validation for the extensions. So let us skip this. We will be doing it later on. Now the next is shirt.py foo bar and bars. Too many command line arguments. So up to here we are done. Now the next part is that I am going to validate about this part. This line is validated. Next I am going to validate these lines. I am going to create a list called extensions, and in that particular list I am going to store the name of all the possible extensions that are allowed, and these are only 3: jpg, jpeg, wrong spelling, jpeg, and .png. Basic idea here is that shirt python shirt.py, let us say foo.png if the user is entering, and here let's say bar.png. The basic idea is to split this into foo and png, similarly bar and png, two different parts. You can do it using split method as well, but CS50 is advising us to use the command, to use the os.path.split text. This is given over here, and here is the extent, the hyperlink. I have already opened it. So if you check this particular line, so what it is going to give me a tuple where it has got foo/bar and .exe. So it is up to you how do you do it, but okay, I will prefer whatever the CS50 is suggesting us, and that was the reason I have imported here os. So let me define extension underscore 1 is equal to os.path.split text. What we are trying to split here, I am trying to split here foo.png, which is at index 1 as I have explained earlier. So I can write here sys.argv, and inside the square brackets I can write 1. I am copying this whole line of code and creating 2. Now I am splitting the extension of the second argument, that is our output file, also using this. And remember, this is going to give us a tuple. So if I say here print extension 1 and type ext underscore 1, and if I run this program right now, module, did I write something wrong here? Oh, there is only one T here, my mistake, and I put here 2 T's. So let's get rid of that, clear the terminal. Now here you see it is giving me a class tuple where foo is separate and .png is separate. So again, in extension 1 what I am getting is a tuple where foo is at index 0 of extension underscore 1 and .png is at index 1. Remember this thing. We are going to use it further in our program. We don't need this line. Let me get rid of this. Now I have to check if, where are the validations here? Yeah, if the input and output name are really ending with these three extensions. So let us do that. If extension underscore 1 at index 1, remember that .png at index 1 and foo is at index 0, so I am picking up .png and I am going to convert it into a lowercase. If that is equal to, let me collapse this so that I have more space. Extension underscore 2 dot lower. Lower is a method which is associated with Python strings, and I have already created a detailed video about 27 most frequently used Python string methods. I will share the link up above as an iCard, and I will share it as an end screen as well. You can go and check this out. So here I am checking if the extension of the input file and output file both are same, one and same. This particular line. Now let us check the second line as well, and extension underscore 1 is in extensions. Now I am checking this line only for input, not for output as for the time being. Remember this fact. So if this condition is met, then I am going to write a try. Now that we have checked that the extension of the input file and output file both are same, and extension of the input file is indeed one among all these three, it is time to open the file which is given as an input. How do we do that? I am going to use this line. I said in the beginning that I am going to borrow heavily from here. So let me copy this. I am going to put here, and I am going to replace this share.png with our variable sys.argv, whatever the name the user has given at first index 1, and I'm going to assign it to a variable called image underscore user underscore image. So now we have opened it, and learning from my mistake in my last video where I did not specify the opening mode, I am explicitly writing here it is in read only method. Now accept file not found error. Here you see note open can raise a file not found error, so we need to handle this one as well. And for this I am going to again exit if file not found error using sys.exit, and I am going to write here input does not exist. So far what we have done here is that we have checked the length of the command line argument. We have checked that the input and output extension are same, and inputs extension is one among all these three, and input file can be opened. Now the next step here is to go for opening the share.png. I have to open the share.png before I can overlay it. So let me define a variable called share. I am going to copy this line. Let me copy this whole line from here and paste it. Now we have opened share.png. What is share.png? This is our share.png. So I have opened this file, and then size is equal to, we have to check for the size. So again let me copy from here. Next we have to fit the size. How do we do that? Again let us check the user manual or the help that is given over here, and I have already opened this hyperlink. I am interested into this part here, so let's get it done. So what I am going to do here is that user underscore image is equal to image ops dot fit. What we have to fit user image, and what it should be up to the size, whatever the size of the shirt here is. So we have fitted it in here. and then we have to paste. So user underscore image, when I say paste, what do I mean is that we have to paste this shirt over these muppets here. So how do we do that? So again, here you see photo dot paste. So let's copy this and get back to here dot. So I don't need this photo because I have defined photo as user dot image. So now we have pasted it, and finally it is time to save it. How do we save it? Like this. So I am going to write that only, save, and what should be our target file name? That is at index 2 of the command line argument. Now I have to check if the extension of the output file also matches with the extension of the input file. It should not be like that input file has got extension, or source file has got extension .jpg, and output file is got .png. So if you check this here, this line of in the demo video, before .jpg, but the source file target file has got extension .png. So we need to handle this one as well. So let me copy the message here. So let's get into elif block. You see, remember this is all going into the if block. So elif, what I say is that extension 2, sorry, not 1, 2 at index 1 is not equal to, I think let us make it lower because we need to compare. If it is not same as the extension of the input file, extension 1 in dot lower, if it is not same as, but extension 1 is in our, but extension 1 it is in our extensions. So here what I am saying here is that extension 1 it is jpg, it is correct, png it is not matching the out for the output, but jpg it is a valid extension out of these three. This is what I am trying to write here. In that very case, I need to use sys.exit and right here input and output have different extensions. And finally, if you remember what I had said earlier, when I was doing this, I was checking only that extension 1, that is extension for the input file, is one among these three. I have not checked for the extension of the target file. Now let us check for that as well. So extension 2 not in extensions, then again we need to exit and we need to give a message here, invalid output. Now I think we are done with our program. Let us start checking. Python shirt.py, too few command line arguments, that is good. Python shirt.py foo bar bars, too many command line arguments, clear. Python shirt.py foo bar, again remember they don't have got any extension, so tuple has got no attribute called lower. Okay, let us check it out. What is the what wrong I did here? Got the error here. I missed here to give the index. Now I have given the index. Let me save it, and if I run this program, invalid output, which is matching with here. You see invalid output. So now it is time to check with this one, but first clear the terminal and let me paste this. Input and output have different extensions, so clear this one. Now I can go and run my program. Share, you see here I have already downloaded before 1, 2 and 3, so I am going to write here before 1 dot jpg, and the output should be after 1 dot jpg. And if I go over here, here you see now it will be coming here, you see. So this was before jpg. So this is before jpg, before 1 dot jpg, and this is after 1 dot jpg. Similarly I can do it for all three, but I'm going to do it only for one more. Before 2 dot jpg and after 2 dot jpg. So this is my before 2 jpg and this is after dot. With this, let me collapse this and let's go for the CS50 checks. Here it is. I have copied this line of code and let me run over here. By the time it is extracting the output, I would like to say that I have been publishing videos related to Python other than CS50 on my YouTube channel. I will share the link of the Python playlist as well into the description box. You can go and have a look out there. It is still waiting for the results. Let us see. Here you can see, let me bring it a little up over here. So everything is in green. It means that our program has passed all the parameters, all the tests by CS50, and we are good to submit it. So this was, as I said, it was a tricky problem. It took me also a while to solve it, but still this is what it is. So that is all for this video. If you find this video useful, consider giving it a like, share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel. Till that time, happy coding.